Welcome to Friday at 11, the Parenting Blogging Hangout. Today we have Helen from Kiddy Charts.
Hello everybody.
Joanne from Kids Days Out Review.
Hello.
Joy from Sensory Seeker and Pink Oddy.
Hello.
Penny Carr from Being Mrs. C.
Hi there.
And a very special guest, Stacey Corrin, and this is her first hangout, which is why we're doing this today. And me, Aly from Bugbird and Bee. So today we're going to be talking about why bloggers should be using Google Plus Hangouts. I understand that people don't like Google Plus for various reasons. They don't get it. It's not intuitive enough. There's too many changes. They don't understand the privacy and how when they put a post out it's not getting seen, and what's SEO and all that kind of thing. And there are quite a few that it's worked for them. There's Red Tide Art and there's Science Sparks, and they got a huge following. But for the average blogger, they seem to think, you know, why bother? Which it's fine. But there are elements that Google Plus that we've tapped into, Hangouts, and so I wanted to discuss today how we've got either work or has it broadened our audience, and also any other skills that we've gained from Google Hangouts. This whole project started last October. On the back of everybody going on to YouTube and doing vlogging and everything. I can't sit there and talk to myself. I got lots to say. Anybody who knows me, and if you watch the Hangouts, I can't stop talking. But to sit there and vlog, I can't do. I love doing Hangouts. I love meeting people. I love talking to people. But to sit there on my own, I can't do. So I'm going to go along the line and ask people a certain question, and then we'll get some feedback. And then we're going to talk to Stacey about why we think she should be doing more Google Hangouts and people in general. So the first question is, from doing the Hangouts, has it got you more work, paid work, or just gen work? And so that's to Helen.
Helen, turn your microphone on, love.
I apologise, I'm muted. That was good, wasn't it? That really shows me what I'm doing. I don't know. Useless. I blame Fridays. What I was trying to say before I switched myself off was absolutely, I've done Hangouts with brands off the back of the Hangouts that I've done regularly on the blog, as well as these Hangouts. I've also, I think, partly become a channel mum because of these Hangouts, because they're some of the content that I put on my YouTube channel. And also I've done live videos with brands as well, and I did one just last week with a financial brand where I had to go in and sort of respond as a family and as a parent would to a couple of questions. And I think what these Hangouts do is they show your ability on camera and how comfortable you are just chatting as well, and how much you waffle too. So, so I think they're a really, really good thing for us to be able to show a different face as bloggers. You know, your real face, believe it or not.
Yeah.
What about you, Joanne?
Yeah, similar. I mean, I've only ever done one sort of paid Google Hangout for a brand. But I think what's important for me as a freelancer is the work I'm doing now for corporate companies that I sell my time for on an hourly basis is all Facebook and Twitter. Okay, that's what we were doing 4 years ago. And what's happening is now companies are now starting to pick up on things like Pinterest. Now, Pinterest we all got into maybe 2 years ago, and I think that now what's going to be happening is, especially with YouTube, I mean, YouTube's always been massive, but I think the last year or so it's really picked up, especially for bloggers. So that when brands move into Google Plus Hangouts, Google Plus YouTube, maybe next year, we'll already be in a position where we've done all that, and we can advise companies on how to do it. We can take part in them, we can help them along, and we can sell our skills that we've acquired in blogging.
What about you, Joy?
If any brand wants to pay me to do a Google Plus Hangout, I am now a little bit more confident with that. Thank you, Aly. Teaching me all those basic skills, and Penny with her telling me how to do the Google effects and whatever. Although my lower third's not working this week, so I'm joining you. But I think a lot for me is I've been doing YouTube videos more, and I've been sort of afraid to put my face and my voice in. Originally from Birmingham, I know that from moving away that people don't like the Brummie accent, and so I just think it just gives you that confidence not to care really, and just to be confident. And then I've learned things like I still can't do it, but about how the screen should be higher than my face, and where the light should be, and all sorts of other nice skills like that. So yeah.
And Penny, I think you're the most successful person to do Hangouts with brands, aren't you?
Possibly. I mean, I've done quite a few Hangouts. I did quite a few a while ago for people like Brit Mums and Net Mums, actually. At the time, they were looking at doing discussions around parenting topics, which was sponsored by brands at the time. I've also done one off the back of, I believe, these Friday at 11 Hangouts as well. But I think the thing that it's given me is much more confidence in front of the camera. I'm doing loads of videos of all sorts of different things now for myself and also for brands. So brands now are looking for things like unboxing videos, but they actually want faces in front of the camera as well for those. And I think a year ago, I wouldn't really have had much confidence in doing those because, again, it's the sound of your own voice, it's seeing yourself on screen, and I wasn't as confident. I've built up that confidence through these Hangouts, definitely. Yeah, I think there's a lot happening in video at the moment. I've just been having a meeting with a client earlier this morning, and you know, I'm talking to him about what videos are doing, especially in the toy industry, which is where I do quite a lot of my review work as well. And I'm also wondering about whether or not to look at doing something in the craft sphere as well. I know obviously Maggie does loads of videos of craft instructionals on Red Ted Art. She did for a while experiment with some Hangouts as well, but I'm wondering if there's more scope for, I hate to use the word adult craft market, but you know, so I'm sat here with my crochet, for instance, and I see no reason why, you know, we couldn't have Hangouts of people showing off all the different things they're making. And I'm just writing something for a craft brand at the moment to look at whether or not they'd be interested in doing something like that, a sort of regular hangout of showing off what people are making at the moment. So I think there's a load of scope around Hangouts and the wider YouTube thing, and of course Google own YouTube and Google do Hangouts, so the two very much come together, I think.
Yeah, because that's what got me in Hangouts in the first place. Did lots of personal ones with bloggers that I've never met before. But then, you know, the geographic relation to where people are, not everybody can get to big conferences. So I've been able to talk to other bloggers and see who you are, you know, and be able to talk, oh, well, you know, you have an idea of what people are, and until you're actually speaking to them, it's completely different. And it's nice because through the Hangouts, I've got to know you, and you know my friends, and I've hardly ever met you. I think I've known Penny. I've met you all, but probably once or twice.
Yeah.
Never had really a conversation in real life.
I think it is possible to build up a really good rapport with people actually through a Hangout when you've got a group of people like this.
Yeah, and it stops that weirdness, and it's like I can go to Brit Mums next week and I can say hi, and it'd be like we've only just seen each other next week, which we have, but do you know what I mean? It's that kind of, like I said, rapport. So my next question is, what kind of skills do you think you could build on from doing the Hangouts? Helen?
Well, I think the most important thing for me is being able to think on your feet, you know, because, you know, when we do these, we prepare a little bit. You know, you've obviously prepared your questions, which is fabulous, but, you know, you haven't told me what they were, and I think that's brilliant. I think that is a really wonderful thing to be able to do, to be able to be, you know, genuine and responsive and also interesting in a spontaneous way. And I think these Google Hangouts do have a lot to be said for teaching that skill, which is actually a really difficult thing to learn. It's a really hard thing to learn, and it's a lovely thing to be able to learn with your fellow bloggers and in a friendly environment, because sometimes, you know, the situations you get put in to learn that kind of stuff are actually quite scary.
But I think as an add-on to what you're saying there, Helen, and I don't know if Jo will echo this as well, because I know she's done some radio, but I've managed to get some radio work, not paid work because it's on a commuter station, but through the back of doing Hangouts, because I've now got the confidence to go and just talk about things and not thinking, oh, I must have a script to read or anything. So I now do a monthly slot on local radio, which came about from, I think, partly from doing this and having the confidence to talk about things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm involved with my local community station. I don't have a regular slot because I don't have the regular schedule to be able to commit to that slot. But I do go in sort of when they need me to talk about things. And that came off. That sort of run parallel with Friday at 11. But it started off with me originally going onto radio, my local BBC radio, to talk about the Brilliance in Blogging Awards that I'd been nominated for a couple of years ago, and I went to chat about the blog. And I remember being absolutely petrified. I remember just talking like at a rate of knots, because I do that anyway. And I remember swearing as well, and they had to blank me out, and it was a mid-afternoon show, and it wasn't great. And actually doing things like the Google Hangouts has sort of taught me to slow down a lot, to think about what I'm saying, to give me those sort of oral. I've always had the written skills, but I've never not necessarily had the oral skills to go with that. So doing radio and doing Friday at 11, and also doing more YouTube videos has kind of helped me to develop those oral skills a lot better than what I was doing.
I think the 5 minutes that we have where you swear blind before we go live really, really helps. So don't you, Jo? Get it out your system.
Well, does you? I go till 11 o'clock and swear like a trooper, and then after we've gone off, I'm fine again. But yeah, I am getting better at controlling it between 11 and half past. You'd be glad to know. I'm interested to know what Stacey thinks really so far as well. She's been very quiet in the corner.
I'm just taking it all in.
Joy, what kind of skills have you gained? You said that you get more confidence with vlogging. Do you think...
I now know how to set up a Google Plus Hangout. I'm still not entirely sure I'm doing this lighting thing right. I know all in theory. I would suggest if you were redecorating your house, black is not a good colour to have. Nice white wall, nice bit of light in front of your face and all that. Yeah, I can't do that. I'm trying to get the height right. So I've still got a lot to learn. And I think I do need to learn to be more confident. Helen's really good at organising it when she hosts, of making us talk in the right order. I'd like to be able to do that more. I don't know, just the confidence to know when to butt in. I'm not very good at that still, so I'm either very quiet until there's a long pause, or I'm asked. I don't seem to get that right, you know, interruption thing. So I'd like to work on that more as well, maybe.
That's going back to sort of like knowing how to set the Hangouts. Today, because I haven't done this for a long time, I slightly cocked up, and originally the Hangout was going to be inviting everybody I know in my circles into the Hangout. And I quickly realised, literally 10 minutes before that, there wasn't an off-air thing. So I had to go off, and I literally had to sort of like within 30 seconds trying to remember exactly what I was doing wrong. And the thing that I should learn to do more often is to write down things and to send out invites at the beginning of the week, which is something I'm drumming into you guys, but I'm not doing it myself. So I think what I need to learn is to organise myself, as well as trying to organise other people, and that's to do what I'm preaching. Okay, so
sorry.
Right, sorry.
So I was going to say, I think that sort of comes from experience, though, and us doing it week in, week out, and us all having a turn and developing those skills that then, you know, when a company comes to do it, they've already got a bank of people that can use to help them and learn from their mistakes and experience.
Well, that's why one of my very main reasons of doing this. One, because I like to network, and doing it online in a video call is much easier. Two, that I wanted lots of people to be learning the same thing at the same time. I mean, because when you're learning something, it's easier to do it as a group. And I think Helen said, you know, we've made so many mistakes, but we've gone off and laughed it off it's unless you make mistakes, you don't learn anything. And it's nice to do it as a group thing because we all have ideas and it's not just one person thinking about it. Okay, so Stacey, so far, what are you thinking about Hangouts? Do you think it would help you in your work? Because you are slightly different. You're not a parent blogger. If you'd like to explain to us what you do as a blogger.
Sure. I mean, one of the things that I do a lot is tutorials. So I show people how to create images for their blogs, how to create Twitter headers, things like that. And I think one thing I've taken from this today is this could work really well for people in this field, to share their screens and to physically show people what they're doing. And I know a lot of the bloggers in the industry I'm in do this already, and it's something I've been building up to do myself, and I think this is kind of finally given me the confidence to do that. But not only that, I've had quite a lot of invites to do podcasts, and podcasts is a huge thing at the moment. The likes of, there's a blog called No Sidebar by Brian Gardner of Copy Blogger and Studio Press, who do Genesis, and that's really successful. They've built a newsletter it's not necessarily a blog, it's a newsletter first, and they complement that with a podcast, and it's so much easier to get ideas and inspiration from hearing that and seeing people talking like that, like we are doing today, than just reading a straightforward blog post. And something someone was, I think it was Joe was mentioning earlier about Pinterest, is these videos can be pinned, which, it's yet another thing that we can add to what we do on Pinterest and elsewhere, on Twitter, Facebook, and even embedding it in your blogs. There's so many things that you can do with a Hangout, and not just on Google+, I mean Skype, things like that.
But the fantastic thing about Pinterest is that, you pin the video and you can watch the video inside Pinterest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which
you can do that.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. It's brilliant. So, and I do that with these. I've started pinning them, but with all of the Hangouts that I do on the blog, which I usually embed in my post, I pin the post and I also pin the video, because I want YouTube views as well. I'm trying to grow the blog as well as growing the YouTube channel, so they're parallel, and I don't see them, causing a problem for each other. They ought to be working together in tandem.
Yeah, definitely.
That's good. That's good. That's from 15 minutes of being on here. So one of my problems is that I like getting people together and telling them, show them skills and getting things up, but I'm not very good at promoting my own skills. I'm not very good at writing blog posts. I'm not very good at writing English and everything. I write like 4 blog posts a month, but people got to know me through social media and other things. I'm not a big writer. I like to talk and I take photos and stuff like that. So one of the things that I would like to get more out of it is being a bit more forward in my skills. I've rarely done anything on my blog about doing the Hangout, so I think that's something I should start doing now, is either embedding it onto my blog and share it a bit more. I don't know how many people are actually watching this today, and that's something else that I want to develop on. Next week we're going to Brit Mums, and there's going to be a Google Plus for advanced people, and I've already been talking to James on Twitter about that, so hopefully he'll help us advance a bit more, doing screen shares and setting up the show trailer at the beginning, and trying to get an audience, because we put a lot of work into this. When we set a couple of hours on a Friday to do this, so we like to go forward a bit more. Okay, has anybody got any questions? Because that's what I was trying to sort of trying to show people what they can get out of.
No, I was just going back to a sort of an earlier point you made about a minute ago. For me, as a family travel blogger who's always behind the camera, always taking the pictures of my children on little rides, I don't think that really before Friday at 11 many people knew who I was. You know, they could have walked past me at Brit Mums and not even known who I was. And, you know, apart from you lot have all kind of got to know me as well, I think probably it's another way for my audience to get to know me as a person behind the blog and behind the camera, rather than just like a screen with, you know, photos of my children on. And really, because I don't promote myself much on the blog, because it's not a personal blog as such, it's a travel blog. So yeah, I think for me, sort of being here every Friday has kind of given me a bit of a kick to sell myself a little bit more as well, and to develop that sense of community better around me rather than around the blog. And so the company profile is a lot better now. I mean, so me and Penny was at Blog On, wasn't he, a couple of weeks ago, and it was like we never really met each other much offline before then, but it didn't matter, did it? You know.
It felt like I'd known you in person for ages.
I think you stole some wine from me from the other room, didn't you?
I did. We ended up drinking quite a lot of Prosecco together, I seem to recall, yeah.
Didn't drink it,
but
honestly, I didn't drink it.
We had built that rapport up just, you know, via doing the Hangout and everything. But I think what you say, it's profile raising as well. My face is seen now a lot more, just on these Hangouts, but also because I'm doing more videos and I'm putting myself in front of the camera rather than being off camera and just a voice, so...
Yeah, and that's another reason why I want to do this as well, because you know, reading a blog post, you can, you know, you're reading what that person wants you to read. Does that make sense? You know, it's editing, and it's something that I was talking about when we did the creators panel, that a lot of my stuff that I put online is edited. You know, I don't do too many photographs of my kids. I don't go into detail about things that happen with my kids. You know, if I do a post about my kids, it's because we've gone out somewhere. I don't go into situations that happen at school or any problems they've had or anything personal happening to me, because you know, that's my business. You know, there are groups that I can talk things to people, but there's only so much that I want you to know, and that's not me being cagey or anything. I've got no secrets, but I just want to have that separation. But at the same time, I want you to get to know me a bit more through the Hangouts. I think it's easier for you to get to know me and see what person I am than it is to read something and then to flick through my Instagram and read my constant waffle on Twitter.
I think that's really interesting because it's that kind of mirrors myself as a blogger, because I don't write about parenting. I don't write about my children. Not many people know that I've got twins and an older son. And what I was going to say is there's a lot at the moment to do with authenticity in blogging and how you can be yourself and edit less. And I think things like this, Hangouts, can really help with that. Hello, child.
Hello. What does she think?
What do you think?
It's trying to get the balance, isn't it? It's trying to get the balance of letting people in so much. Because, you know, I spend my days just putting around the house and crocheting and doing stuff that I like to do on my own. And once my kids come home, you know, I do stuff with the kids. And you know, I'm not constantly on social media telling everybody what I'm doing and what they think and everything. It's very selective. But it's not because I'm, you know, there's only so much that I think you should know about me. So that you know, I used to always put on what I'm having for dinner, and you know, when you see other people say, "Oh, I don't really want to know what people are having for dinner," so I stopped doing that. I put photos on Instagram because I got quite a good following of vegan people, even though I'm not vegan. Right? Have to confess, and I have said this in the Hangout before, we are mainly vegetarians, but because of Kieran's allergy, he can't have eggs, and I'm trying to lose weight, but I do like bacon and cheese. Okay. There you go. See, that's edited live, and I'm telling you. So yeah, I do like bacon.
I think everybody's weakness is bacon.
I'm going to put all my followers now because I'm going, oh my god, she's bacon and cheese.
You just don't promote this Hangout.
Right, so we're going to start winding up.
I do have a question, actually. I have a question, and I don't actually know if any of you guys know, but just maybe for Stacey or just more widely, Aly or anybody, is just understanding the SEO benefits of doing Google Hangouts would be helpful, really, just to understand, how that might help your blog and you being found on YouTube, etc.
Well, I'm guessing it depends on who uploads the videos, because obviously when we do this, whoever hosts the Hangout, it goes on their YouTube channel, and it's really, to some extent, as I understand it, down to that person tagging the video correctly when they upload it. So when I do my videos, I will put in the tags various keywords about whatever we're talking about that week. So when we did a Hangout the day after the general election, for instance, I put in there lots of election terminology like politics, election 2015, general election, UK general election, all those kind of terms. So hopefully they would come up as search terms.
I have to admit, I haven't put any descriptions or any links to blogs to any of mine, and it wasn't until last week, because I watch a lot of Hangouts and I haven't watched any a couple of months. So I've been sort of like binge watching, catching up with the changes of Google Plus and stuff, and I actually found all our past Google Hangouts, so I've actually have a list now, so I can go back and go for all your YouTube channels and try and find the missing ones that I haven't got, because I've created a playlist. So hopefully I'll have a playlist, and I will then go back through mine that I posted and put a description in and put links to your blogs.
But put keywords in as well, so there's a field in there keywords. And the other thing that I've always been recommended is to, for all your videos, in your keywords, put something like your name, which is unique, because that way, whenever you get the suggestions that come up on the right-hand side of your screen, that will have other things in. So when I'm uploading my own videos, I always put Being Mrs. C in there, which means that when you get the suggestions of similar videos, it will bring up other videos of mine. So if we all put Friday at 11 in the keywords, it means that if someone's watched one of those videos, it will then hopefully bring up other ones, even if they're hosted by other people, in the suggested videos at the right-hand side.
That's what I'm hoping to learn next week at Britmum. So I'm going to the YouTube session. I'm a complete newbie. I've been using YouTube to watch things for years and years, and I've done a couple of family videos, but anything other than that, I have no idea. But I know that Maggie from EdTech Art, who knows all the social media channels, when she uploads a video, she'll go around through all her subscribers and comment on their last video. She's very good within that first hour of going around to her subscribers and comment on their video and liking and all that kind of thing. So it's just like anything else you do on social media. When you do an Instagram picture, you go around and liking everybody's, don't you? And you use the tags and all that kind of thing. So you need to do a bit of networking instead of just uploading the video. That's something that I need to learn about as well.
But the difference is, most things with Google, as far as I'm aware, Google like to reward users, and especially YouTube. They like you to keep people watching YouTube. So they have videos to watch that they recommend. And Maggie's trying to hopefully get them to feature one of her videos, which is what happened to me. And I've had over 3 million views on a video because they put it in the, this is what we recommend you watch list. So with a lot of other social media, you might like on Instagram, you might get a like back because you've liked someone else's, but they don't like feature it sort of thing. I don't know if Instagram do that. Do Instagram feature
you can go on photos. If you go into, you have separate feeds, don't you? And you can have your ordinary feed, and then it will have photos, and it will show photos that are similar to ones that you've liked. Say if you've liked a lot of pictures of flowers, you'll suddenly see it will show you people. I've done that for the last 3 weeks, and I've managed to get over 400 extra followers.
Wow!
And now I can post up a picture, and I get a huge amount of likes quite quickly. Because it's one of the areas of social media I thought it's easiest to get more traction with, and I'm pretty happy now you know, most of my photos are getting between 50 and 60 likes, which I know isn't huge. I know there's people who are getting 500 and whatever, but it's a lot better than it was I was doing a month ago. And I've been doing what Joy's been doing, that's clicking on all the tags. So if you, and not having too many tags as well, I find that quite useful. Anyway, so it's 11:30.
Sorry, can I just add as well that you don't have to do your Google Hangout live. You can just get together with a group of friends is another benefit, and all have a chat about something like this. So if you're not confident for everyone to watch it, you can still share information without, you know, it going to everyone.
Yeah, there's been lots of instances of that. You know, it's how Penny, Annie, and Tanya did their comic relief when they did the you know, things. They got together on a hangout and share information. So yeah, you know, if you not feel confident enough to do it straight away with live hangout, and there, you know, there are two types of hangouts. You can do live one, or you can do a private one. And the live ones always go get recorded. So whoever's hosting it, it gets simultaneously broadcasted onto their YouTube channel. So if they don't have, so whoever's watching it doesn't have to be on Google Plus. They can watch it from your YouTube channel as well, and then it gets sent to YouTube within half an hour, isn't it? And you can watch it back. So even though you can't watch something live, you can watch it back through Google Plus or through that person's YouTube channel. So there's lots of scope. So actually, thinking, going back, I'm going to have to stop putting my Hangouts on my blog now and actually pinning them and getting some kind of organisation. So I think we're going to have a last word from Stacey. So we're going away now. What do you think you're going to be doing Hangouts now?
I think I might join you next time if I can.
Yeah, just say, you know, we're open to having guests, and if there's something that you want to talk about, not necessarily promote, just say that you've got something you want to talk about, or you like the look of. I'm hoping to get Kirsty from my two mums. I'm going to hopefully grab her, Brick Mums, to do something. She's really good at YouTube, and I thought she might want to extend from here. Get some ideas on YouTube vlogging, because you know, a few of you are quite good, so that might help. So yeah, we're always up to having guests, because we don't tend to sort of like have a theme each week. It's kind of 10:30. We sit. Oh, what are we going to talk about today?
we like to leave things late so we can do current things, don't we? That's our excuse anyway. Yeah. Because of the blog count thing, I actually come away and was thinking, oh, you know, there was a bit negative things about Google Plus, and I was like, I'm going to turn this negative into positive. So I was like, okay, so that's what I've done, hopefully. So, right, we're going to sign off now. So hopefully you enjoyed this hangout. Don't forget to subscribe. And hopefully I'll get some time to organise so that when you come back to my channel, you'll see everybody's playlist and where they are at. There is a featured thing on my thing, so you can see everybody else's YouTube channel. And until next week, which we won't be here because we're at Brick Mums.
Yeah, I'm going to miss you next week. I think I've got to be somewhere else, first of all. But
right, so, because everybody will be travelling to London, so I think we might go the week after and catch up on what we've learned from maybe blog conferences, our tips for blog conferences. How's that? Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I was supposed to be doing a vlog, but I'm not going to be able to fit it in. Anyway, we are going to go now. So thank you for watching. And
bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.